Welcome back to CTS Weekender. Well, from business cards to business relationships, personal branding and profitable networking made easy. I've got the lady here to talk about it. Allison Graham joining me once again. Great to have you back on the show, Allison.
Great to be back.
And it's interesting that today we're going to be actually talking about branding, which is in the title of your book. It's important, it's key, it's the message you're giving to the public. When it comes to branding, where does one even begin when you start a business?
Well, it really is about what is the gut reaction that people have when they interact with you. So ask yourself, the best place to start is, what would it be like to meet me? Would I like me? Would I trust me? Would I believe that I'm competent? So everything that we do when we're interacting with potential clients or prospects or referral sources is going to determine that gut reaction that they're having.
Okay. So branding is actually more than, it's funny, when I hear the word branding, my first thought goes to a logo and to letterhead and to this sign outside. But really, branding really starts with the individual.
Well, it does. And you can invest a lot of time and a lot of money trying to create that perfect image that people are going to see when you're not there. But what are they going to feel when they're around you? Because that will, the most intimate connection that somebody has with your company will have the greatest influence over whether somebody will choose to do business with you. Right. So it's funny that you mentioned about thinking about those big brands, that logo. So if we look at McDonald's or Tim Hortons, that's what a lot of people talk about when they talk about branding.
Well, that's what you think first when you hear the word, I guess because branding begins with brand, and a brand is something you automatically, although the brand belongs to the person who's the head of the business, the brand we see as a consumer, we automatically first think of the packaging.
Right, exactly. But when we look at it, those companies that we mentioned, they have spent millions of dollars and years reinforcing their brand and their service proposition and everything that they do. So how many people with small businesses have $1 million branding campaign lined up for next year?
They wish they had $1 million branding campaign lined up.
Right.
But yes.
They probably wouldn't even need it. If they could do it, they wouldn't need it. So, but what can we learn from them? And really, it's about, what do people see, what do people feel, and what do people hear when they interact with you and your business? Okay. So what do they see? How are you putting yourself together? And that's where we do talk about the logos and all of that, that traditional piece. But it's also, do you have your hair done? Do you have your makeup done? Do you, are you looking like you care about yourself? Right. Because how we look on the outside is so much a reflection of how we feel on the inside, and also the interpretation of the service that we're going to deliver to our clients. Okay. So that is important. How do people feel when they interact with you? So there are some people, we all have our little glitches in our lives, and I know I can be very aloof if I'm in an event and have 50 conversations in a night. So I have to be really careful that I don't just move on to a conversation and leave this person behind. Right. So that was something I recognized in my own self-development. But what are people feeling when they're with you? One of my favorite mentors when I started my networking, after he passed away, a whole bunch of us got together and we said, what was it about Angus that made him so special, that really impacted us so much? And it was that we determined that it didn't matter if there were 1,000 people in the room, but when he was talking with you, it was only you. And so that's how he made us feel. And look at the impact he's had on our lives.
Wow. Now, for the individual small business owner who's beginning, what is the key? Do you want to change yourself, or do you want to take you and just be you 2.0?
Right. You definitely you 2.0. I think there's this feeling that a business owner has to be a certain way, and that just doesn't work, because as soon as we try to be someone who we're not, then it's not authentic, and authenticity is so important when we look at our network and our branding and how people will perceive us. So you want to take you and just be sure that if you do have bad habits, then find a way to overcome them and focus on one thing at a time.
Okay. Is it something that we, as someone who's starting out, should go to someone who can be a consultant, who can help you tweak your appearance and the way you are perceived by the public?
It depends how comfortable you are in different areas. I think if you are struggling in the morning on what to wear, I would definitely see somebody who can help you with that. There's one of the companies who I work with is a clothing company, and they do a lot of that service, Fisher & Company. And we always talk about how it's not just about the clothes, but it's how you feel when you
This is
put
true.
on a really great pair of shoes or a suit. And if you don't have the confidence to put that together, then you need to see somebody who's an expert in that area to help you.
Right.
So that's the real key. If there are any pieces that you can't figure out on your own, outsource it, because you can spend a lot of time wasting time trying to figure out something that other people already have the expertise for.
So now we've got ourselves looking good.
Yes.
We've got ourselves looking great. But then I guess we still do need to turn to things like the look of the product, the service, whatever it is, the branding in terms of the logo and the presentation, the advertising.
Yes.
Does this have to be a super expensive part of what you're doing?
Not at all. But it needs to communicate authentically what you're offering and the value proposition. So a lot of business owners want to talk about, I offer this. And so I, have a clothing company. Well, yeah, but you can get clothes anywhere. But I'm going to give you confidence. I'm going to give you value. I'm going to make you feel like $1 million. I'm going to do all of these different things. So looking at whatever it is that you're communicating, you want to be sure that it's value driven and that the person who is a prospect is going to understand it, and they're going to immediately get exactly what you have to offer and the value that you have to offer.
Okay. And is a focus group a way to go?
Sure.
Gathering people that will give you that actual real, I know sometimes I'll have I think is a great idea, or I think something looks fantastic, but perhaps it wouldn't be received the way I'd want it to be received.
That's exactly right. So you want to have your sort of board of directors, your personal board of directors who can, different people who are in your target audience, which is really important because it doesn't matter if your mom likes it. But
Mom
if
always likes it.
Mom is supposed to like it. That's mom's job. But it matters if your target audience gets it and likes it and it speaks to them. So there's a balance between sending it out to people, on social media and saying, what do you think? And, trying to change too much for too many different people who don't really have any impact on your bottom line sales.
Lots of really great tips. People can learn more from you, obviously through your book, but also through your website. You have a great website with your business.
Yes, elevatebiz.com. More than happy to reach out to me, and it's great.
Looks good, so check it out. Thanks for joining me in studio today.
Thanks, Sharon.
Some great tips. And we have more coming up for you on CTS Weekender in just a moment.